War has been a staple of humanity, going back far beyond recorded history. It has been the means by which disputes, rebellions, and revolutions have begun and ended. Even in modern, more civilized times, war has only become a more destructive force. It is the aim of the Setauket Peace Network, a coalition of different organizations, such as the North Country Peace Group and Veterans for Peace, to meet these pre-9/11 issues with post-9/11 solutions.
I'm a member of the North Country Peace Group.
We are part of the Setauket Peace Network, and along with numerous other peace groups on Long Island, we work to change the approach that we take toward foreign policy to one that is less militaristic.
Yeah, I'm a part of Pax Christi, Long Island. Pax Christi is an international peace group of the Catholic Church. It's both national, international, and local. We're the local group, Pax Christi, Long Island. And we commit ourselves to the belief that Jesus preached nonviolence.
I belong to Veterans for Peace, the Long Island chapter. We get out there on the street and try to raise consciousness.
Okay. I'm a member of the North Country Peace Group as of December of 2002, prior to the invasion of Iraq. Our group is there to educate the community in alternative ways of dealing with conflict. I think we're comprised of many interesting and different people who, in their own personal lives or what they do for a living or what other activities that they're involved in, that varies across the board. But I think our main purpose is to put out ideas that somebody would read going by in a car and make them think. That, I think, is the most important thing that we do.
We want to give people information. We want to make people aware of things that you just don't see very often in the mass media.
It's not our intention to intrude or to impede in any way, although we will attempt to intrude somewhat on your mind.
What we try to do is we try to just plant an idea in someone's mind. That's all we try to do. We know we're not going to change people. We realize 90% of the people or 80% of the people are somewhere in the middle, and we just hope to make them think a little bit.
I guess more of opportunities to think differently, to be part of the culture of peace, to not be so taken with the mainstream message of war as the answer for any conflict, whether it's in the world or in our personal lives, to try to be peaceful people.
I think that it's very important and very helpful when we interact with the community. We stand there, as you know, every week, and we hold our signs, and people interact with us. They honk their horns, they give us the peace sign.
And one by one, our group formed. They would see us, and people would stop and ask. And just to say, there's another way to be. There's another way we can be.
Our primary purpose, our primary mission as veterans, is to try and inform people about the reality of war. And we do that in any way we can. We try to get into the classroom. We write. We give lectures, we do all sorts of things.
We distribute leaflets, we have conversations with people. We participate in demonstrations on Long Island, working with other organizations. We launch letter writing campaigns and join other letter writing campaigns, email campaigns. We write our member of Congress, we meet periodically.
Locally, we have a few hundred people on our mailing list, probably 400. The active people probably are 100 or so.
I was so happy when I discovered the North Country Peace Group because I've been opposed to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan since their inception.
And I think I did it for my children's and my grandchildren's sake, that I saw insanity and I said I have to do something. Even if it doesn't work, I have to do something.
One of the reasons that motivated me to go out onto the corner that day in December was my frustration of the world has gone mad. It's gone crazy, and I didn't know what to do. And I was so nuts by it, and I needed a place to express my frustration, and I just wrote up a sign and stood out there.
I think that it's really helpful when there's a local organization that works to oppose these wars, and I wanted to be part of that.
I think our group is there to stand for something. Again, to stand for peace, to say that war is not the answer for our conflict, just to say no, to resist, to say we don't have to go along with what we're being fed through the media. We can think differently, we can act differently, we can discipline ourselves. Even as a group, we've learned to discipline and to become a peaceful group, people who, instead of lashing out when people didn't agree with us, we've learned to support one another and to help one another to say, that's not the way, we want to be nonviolent.
For all of history, people have waged war. Right now, all over the world, people are dying at the hands of others. But there are people who see another way. The Suffolk Peace Network is an association of groups committed to finding a nonviolent alternative to war.
Our group is there to educate the community in alternative ways of dealing with conflict. We are against war, we are against that invasion, and we are against the invasion of Afghanistan as well as Libya now.
I think that it's really helpful when there's a local organization that works to oppose these wars, and I wanted to be part of that. I think that it's very important and very helpful when we interact with the community.
Every Saturday since the beginning of the Iraqi war, the Suffolk Peace Network has been protesting on the corner of 25A and Bennett's Road in Setauket. And they will be out there, standing for peace and justice until this conflict comes to an end.
We stand there, as you know, every week, and we hold our signs, and people interact with us. They honk their horns, they give us the peace sign. We distribute leaflets, we have conversations with people, we participate in demonstrations.
All the people who have gone to war and who are coming home from war, and if we really understand the injuries, not only to their bodies, which are tremendous, but to their minds and their souls.
I remember the buildup going to Vietnam and how all the propaganda going on, all the buildup to war that was going on. And I saw the same thing happening after 9/11. Iraq was out and out a ploy just to get oil. That's all it was.
Those kids, the kids of the corporatists, the kids of the politicians don't go to war. They don't go to war. You do and I don't. I mean, what do we have to gain by continuing this? We seem always to want to justify budget cuts, taking away from education, taking scholarship, firing teachers, doing away with Medicare and Social Security because we claim there's no money, but yet we spend millions and millions and trillions on war. It just doesn't make any sense. It's insane. We have to stop it. Let's get out there. Let's get on the street. Let's fight for the children. Let's fight for the teachers. Let's fight for the educators. Let's fight for this country. Let's bring peace at last to America.